Hi, this is Tisch Aitken, and it is Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. And if you're feeling really foggy and tired and confused and listless, you are not alone. Neptune, which is the planet of dreams and the unconscious mind, spirituality, intuition, imagination, and creativity, as well as fantasy, delusion, illusion, and deception. Neptune officially retrograded this morning at 25 degrees and 26 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. We feel the buildup 5 days before, so we started feeling that Neptune fog as of around June 23rd. Now it officially retrograded at 25 degrees and 26 minutes of Pisces. This sets off where a lunar eclipse occurred on September 16th of 2016. If you recall what was going on in your life at that time, maybe there was some loss or dissolving of certain things. And let's see, and now, so Neptune station, we're going to feel that Neptune fog the next 5 days as well, so to the beginning of July. And it's a really confusing energy, and yet the Mars Aries energy is very fierce and very potent today. And today is also, and in general, and today is the day of a new moon. So to really manifest and magnetize what you're trying to achieve, you need to be able to suspend disbelief and believe in infinite possibility. And Neptune can make you so zoned out that you can believe in infinite possibility, sometimes in a very misleading or out there in the sky, but sometimes in a way, usually hopefully in a way that you can really work with your dreams in order to heal, in order to create new dreams and magic and bring love and empathy and compassion. And Neptune can also be very misleading. It's the most sensitive of all the planets. It rules Pisces, rather, which is the most psychic and intuitive of all of the signs. And so there's incredible sensitivity and vulnerability that is emphasized right now, because when an outer planet stations, whether it be retrograde or direct, it exaggerates the qualities of that planet. And again, Neptune is very creative. It is the higher octave of Venus. So it's very loving and compassionate. It represents poetry and music. It's very associated with music. And it's a very good tool to deal with stress and fear and anxiety with the Neptune energy, because Neptune can augment your fears. It can make you feel just really paranoid. It can make you feel like you're on cloud nine, that you can do anything, because again, the imagination can be infinite. But with this Neptune haze, we also are, let's see, so a few things happening at once. So the sun squares Jupiter today, and that occurs at 8:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's an excessive energy, and Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. Neptune is the modern, and that's expanding a lot of sensitivity. There is a lot of loss, a lot of fear, a lot of disappointment right now, and so that energy is very amplified. And then the new moon itself occurs at 10:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 7 degrees and 23 minutes of the cardinal water sign of Cancer. The moon loves being in Cancer. It rules the cardinal water sign of Cancer. It's very nurturing and family oriented. Currently, the moon is out of bounds, which makes it much more emotionally intense. So it's almost operating and feeling like a full moon in contrast to a new moon, because the Neptune energy makes things seem very misleading and confusing. Can almost feel like Mercury retrograde as well. And yet Mercury is actually in its rulership very potent and intellectually agile in Gemini. But the Neptunian fog can make things seem confusing. I was just having computer problems. I'm working on a computer. The frame now is literally broken and it's about to break entirely. I have a new computer, but I can't get my my camera software to work with that. That's another Neptune problem for another day. But the fact is that recognize that the sensitivity and the emotions are very, very emphasized right now. And there is a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, a lot of confusion, a lot of directionlessness for people. And really honoring the loss and recognizing that it will feel more painful right now as Neptune stations, and it will be retrograde for approximately 6 months. It retrogrades for about half the year. So that's not a big deal in itself, but when it retrogrades or stations direct 5 days before, 5 days after, that's when it's really potent, like right now, making us all feel really tired or dreamy. Your dreams could be very potent. Pay attention to your dreams, write them down, pay attention to the messages, work with your intuition. The new moon is always a time to plant new seeds and set intentions, especially with Neptune facilitating your working with your imagination to really manifest beauty and love and happiness. And so the new moon is setting off where, I don't know if you recall, around 2012, I think it was 2011 or 2012 to 2015, we had the Pluto-Uranus squares, 7 of them in the cardinal signs. And the first was the end of June of 2012. Pluto was transiting at approximately 8 degrees of Capricorn, squaring Uranus, which is at that time was at 8 degrees of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. Well, interestingly enough, this new moon is at 7 degrees and 23 minutes of Cancer, cardinal sign which opposes Capricorn. Jupiter, the grand benefic, is approximately at 7 degrees of Aries. It's going to retrograde at the end of July at 8 degrees and 43 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. So it's setting off a little bit of the energy of that summer, and that broke down a lot of structures in our lives as well. That was before the epoch of Capricorn and before Saturn entered Capricorn in December of 2017. But those squares were pretty big. They brought more division in the world and in the country, and a lot of breakthroughs as well. And now this new moon is really inviting you to work towards what you're trying to create and nurture in your life, which lacks security. Nobody's life is particularly secure right now, and I think we need to make peace with that. But dreams aren't always based on security. They're based on the fact that you have to take risks and you have to take a leap of faith sometimes. Love and magic and community are essential in helping to work and grow together. But, you know, the idea of things being grounded and practical in the new age of Aquarius is not one that's going to be easy to work with. And we've already seen, we're almost done with it. It's going to be, Saturn will be in Aquarius until March 7th of next year. And yet, you know, we have Jupiter transiting in Aries through the end of October. A lot of cardinal fire and a lot of anger right now, understandably, a lot of anger in the world. In the new moon chart, Jupiter is, let's see, so it's squaring the new moon in Cancer, expanding the lunar energy, the emotions, the ability to magnetize and manifest. Eris, the goddess of discord, she is the warrior feminine. She is just off by a degree from Mars, and she happens to be Mars's sister. So that's very fiery, feminine energy. Jupiter stations later in the month, the grand benefic, and again, the ancient ruler of Pisces. And Chiron, the wounded healer, is also transiting in Aries. and will retrograde in the middle of the month at 16 degrees and 26 minutes of Aries. So there's a lot of cardinal fire, and Pluto and Mars are squaring each other. Mars is also transiting in Aries. It's going to leave the sign of Aries on July 5th. And that's the same day that Mercury will also change signs and enter the sign of Cancer, which deals with home and family and getting your needs met. But Mars clashing with Pluto is very combative energy, and usually you feel Mars before it's exact. So the aspect becomes exact on July 1st at 10:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Mars is the planet of war, and Pluto is the planet of power, death, and regeneration. Mars and Pluto are both the rulers of Scorpio. They can bring major endings, major beginnings, but realistically major power clashes. And again, Mars and Eris are both worked up in the sky, you know, traveling together, and that's very, very difficult, combative energy. So this week we're building up to that, and it will become exact on Friday, but we're going to start feeling it Wednesday and Thursday before it becomes exact. On Saturday, July 2nd, Mercury, the planet of communication, makes a helpful aspect to Saturn, and that's the planet of stability. That occurs at 6:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Good for anchoring your thoughts, good for working together within community or with others. If you're doing, at least in the United States, it is a holiday weekend. It is going to be a very fiery one. So preparing for that, you can only control your actions. So being more mindful on the road with, 4 points transiting in a sign ruled by Mars in the fire sign of Aries, I think that would be prudent to be cautious on the road. Mars squaring Pluto, definitely be wary. People could be very easily looking for a fight. You can only control how you react, but a good use of the energy with the Neptune haze, with all the Aries energy, is tapping into being the healing warrior, the healing wounded warrior. And so whether it's manifesting with a group of people whom you really trust and doing some kind of spiritual practice, yoga, Tai Chi, maybe you're doing some kind of a crystal ritual with the Neptune energy so strong. It's not a full moon, but it almost feels like a full moon week. Cleansing your crystals, burning Palo Santo or sage, really cleansing out the negative energy. Pluto is the cosmic compost, really eliminating the toxicity that is so pervasive right now and so engulfing. And so working with that, Mercury squares Neptune on July 2nd, and that occurs at 3:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That can feel, or at 4:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That feels like it does right now. That can feel hazy, but it's excellent for working with your imagination, doing affirmations, doing journaling, working with your unconscious mind. And it's often been said that if you do intentions with other people, so if you're doing affirmations of intentions or dreams that you have, if you say them with another person or with a group of people, and you share those intentions and the other people say them in accordance with you and reaffirm what you want, it brings more power to your words. So however you can use it, this weekend is very good for purging anger and toxic emotions. So that would be a very beneficial use, but realistically it's going to go in different ways and people will be very worked up. And even in the new moon chart, the ascendant is Aquarius rising, which is focused on community and groups, but Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. It's the nonconformist. It's the rebel of the zodiac, and it rebels things that it feels are unjust. So there is a lot of energy of people wanting to resist being held back. And so finding your power in love and compassion, working with dreams, and knowing that this summer we're still going to have a lot of fiery energy. Mars will leave Aries on July 5th. It's going to enter the fixed Earth sign of Taurus, and it'll be there until, till August 20th. And Jupiter will be in Aries until the end of October. But it's not going to be as fiery as this. And the Neptune station will subside, working with the Gemini energy. Venus is transiting in Gemini, trying to socialize, getting involved in local community, trying to have some fun this weekend, which is possible, and being creative. So I know there's heavy energy though, and I want to let you know that, and find ways in your own way to meditate, chant, sing, do whatever it is. And I wish you a lot of luck, and thank you very much. Take care.